Hello and welcome back. We are here to discuss the Valley reunion part 2 today, and woohoo! Let me tell you something. The girlies, they stayed on the men's necks, and I'm happy. I'm ecstatic about it, right? So, first things first, I find it comical, truly top tier, that I have watched Jax Taylor be in everybody's business. This man was on press tours. Anybody with a microphone that he could sit down in front of during Scandival, he was doing so. But when it comes to his business, he has to tell everybody to shut up. Zach is getting called a Lego, and he can't have any say-so whatsoever. When Zach has watched him mistreat his friend of 17 years. But you know who I don't remember seeing during Scandival on the show? Was Jax Taylor. At that time, he hadn't been around them in Lord knows how long, but he still had plenty to say. And I'm honestly so confused why Jax seems to be the hill that Jason wants to die on as far as like standing up for him, because while the men on this show are all very horrible in their own ways, each and every one of them, y'all have heard me talk about it all season, standing on the hill of Jax Taylor, of who you're okay with, is crazy to me. And then Jesse being the second one, because Jesse also sat there and said when he watches the show back, he understands what everyone is saying about Janet. However, I'm going to pause right there on the comparing us, because we're going to get to them. We're going to get to them. I truly commend Brittany for everything that she has gone through with Jax, right? And y'all know, I'm not Kentucky Muffin's biggest fan. I'm really not. However, I don't think anybody should have to go through what she went through with that man, no matter what. Like, yes, Jax is horrible. We've always thought he was horrible, but I'm not going to blame her for being in love and seeing the good in the person that she loved, right? The way I think I really would have flown across that fucking stage at him, though, when she was talking about Cruz and his diagnosis and everything that she's gone through and done to advocate for her son and make sure that she is a good example for parents, because she says like a lot of times some parents can be in denial. I loved that she talked about that. But when Jax was like, that must have been really difficult for you. Yeah, you're right. It was really difficult for me. It was difficult in the first place, and it would have sucked going through it no matter what. However, what didn't make it any better is what his ass was putting her through while she is trying to care for their son. She is still putting their son and his needs ahead of everything else while he is running around WeHo being a fucking demon. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Sending her threatening text messages, being, again, an absolute demon. A demon! Now, shifting gears to another demon on that stage, Jesse. Jesse does not deny anything that Michelle actually says that he did, but it's just skated past each and every time. When she mentions, like, you said you wanted to eat the box of one of our clients, he tries to deny it at first, but then he's like, yeah. No, let's rewind that, especially because you accused her of being an escort. And then he wants to bring up Isabella being like, I feel bad because Isabella is going to see that one day. You didn't think about that when you were fucking saying it? You didn't think about that when you were saying it? Like, what? Let's be real here. Let's honestly be so for real here. And the fact that Michelle said that the only reason he realized that is because other parents said something to him about it. I'm like, that was the first thing I thought about. I literally think I said it in one of the Valley videos. Like, you are teaching your daughter that if one day a man is upset with her, he can just say that she's a hooker and it's okay. Like, Michelle admitted that she cheated. At this point, I don't understand what his hard-on is about it, right? Because Jesse did a lot of things that he does not deny throughout that marriage. Also, I don't believe that he did not cheat, right? With the lady who had a husband. I don't think that for one fucking minute. Also, what he described between her and Aaron, to me, is not an emotional affair. That's called a friendship. He was talking about girls that he was dating, and she touched on her relationship status with her husband. That's called a friendship. Now, everybody has a different idea of what they are comfortable with their partner having like friendships with either the opposite sex, or if you're in a same-sex relationship, like the boundary differs, right? But in my personal opinion, they did not have they being Aaron and Michelle, did not have an emotional affair on Jesse. Now, one thing that I found very, very interesting is when Kristen talked about how the Janet she knew before the Valley is different than the Janet that's on the show. Everybody was shaking their head. Yep. Janet and Jason want everybody to take accountability and responsibility for their actions. However, when everybody on the stage is saying Janet is different than how she is in real life off of the show, she is like, no, I'm not. And they don't have to accept any accountability whatsoever. Jason's like, what I see is everybody talking about my wife behind her back. They talked to her about it to her face too, but it's just so interesting to me. And again, I will say one thing that I will give Janet and Jason, even if I think they're wrong, is that they are going to put on a united front. Jason is not going to get on stage, on camera, and tell us that he believes his wife is wrong in any way, shape, or form. And I don't blame him, right? So I don't think that he's going to say like, yeah, honey, you are different on camera. Now, what I will say about Janet being different on camera, she has become a reality TV star. And I think that in a way it's just her working, right? So they say that she's kind of like a bone collector and kind of a sniper from the side where she will bring up old things that have been put to rest and throw them back out when convenient. I think she's learned from the shows that she's watched, right? Now, I get what like the likes of Kristen and them are saying is like, we did not do that on, like, we didn't collect information on people on purpose just to be able to bring it back out and have some gotcha moment. We just all lived life together and knew these things about one another. And when it got brought up, when we were arguing, it's like, okay, yeah, what about XYZ? So I understand both ways. It's just, it's the new age of reality TV stars, honestly, truly, if you ask me. Janet and Zach both have always wanted to be on reality TV. The only difference between them is Zach owns it way more than Janet. And that's totally fine. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any shame in wanting to be on reality TV. If the opportunity presented itself and it was the right show, I would go on reality TV. It's almost like people admitting, or Janet thinks people admitting that she wants to be on TV is like an insult. At the end of the day, everybody who ended up on reality TV wanted to be on TV, or else they wouldn't have done it. Like, it's totally fine, right? I just think that she wants to seem like she's a cool girl, and she's like, oh my God, I finally made it. But like, babe, that's not it. You're not Tiffany New York Pollard, who was shopping on freaking, I think she said Melrose one day, and a producer stopped her and asked her if she wanted to be on Flavor of Love. Like, that's not what happened. You befriended Sheena. It's fine. But I also do think that there's kind of like I don't know, an air around some of those Vanderpump people who act as if because they already had their time on reality TV and they did it really well, that the people who are coming after are kind of like, I don't know, loser-ish in a way. I don't really know what, yeah, I mean, that's how I meant that. I was going to try and clean it up and make it sound a little better, but I said what I said. And I say that because I remember seeing a TikTok about one of the friends of those Vanderpump people. I don't know who she is. She was never on the show, but she's one of those like hangers-ons that like maybe works in the industry or something. And she was making fun of Zach on a podcast, saying like she heard him on the phone being like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm not invited to one of the Vanderpump parties. And she was like, he's always been so desperate and always wanted to get on screen, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then what about the people that you're friends with? Because like we have Sheena, who's not on the show, but she is celebrating worming her way into the Valley. Like, I just don't love the way sometimes they make it seem like, oh my God, this person's a loser for wanting to always be on the show that I'm on. Like, they came to you, said, do you want to be on the show? You know, worked for it. You earned your spot on there. So why can't somebody else do that? Now, do I agree with what Zach said about Janet and her pregnancy? No, absolutely not. That should have never been said. At this point, though, I need Janet to decide whether or not she's going to move forward with him or not. And to be clear, I agree with her if she does not want to move forward with him. I wouldn't, right? And I'm not even going to sit here and pretend with you and act as if I might forgive you for the sake of the show because we have to work together. No, babe. I don't forgive you. I'm never going to forgive you. I think that what you said was disgusting and never going to get over it. And I'm going to stand on that. We may have to work together, but we will not be going to lunch and filming scenes together. And that's going to be fucking fine. There's plenty of people on this cast that I can do so with. At the same time, while I respect Janet not ever wanting to forgive Zach, right? First of all, say that and stick to it. But secondly, if other people, i.e. Brittany, who's been his friend for 17 fucking years, is like, I don't love what he said and I needed to take a little break from him. However, he's like family to me. I'm always going to be around him. Is still hanging out with him. That's her prerogative. It is one of the most immature things that I've ever heard in my fucking life. Janet saying that she took Brittany's Instagram birthday post down because she found out that she was hanging out with Zach and Brittany did not tell her that she decided to end the little break that she was taking from him. Are you kidding me? Again, Brittany and Zach have known each other for 17 years, since high school, I'm pretty sure they said. Like, she said he is like family. She doesn't agree with what he said, but he is always going to be a part of her life. So it does not concern Janet if other people want to forgive him. Like, please, that was the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Again, I don't expect Janet and Jason to ever be fine with Zach. Totally understandable, but come on now. And then when you shift it to the Danny and Nia of it all, again, I'm going to say, how Danny and Nia want to go about working out their marriage, that's completely on them. Is it the route I would have gone? No, I don't think so. But I can respect it, right? It is very just so comical to me that I watched Janet during the season stick up for Jasmine, but then throw it in Jasmine's face that she stuck up for her while still wanting to paint Danny as the bad person. If I think that what somebody did was wrong in like the harassment category, then it doesn't matter who they did it to, it is wrong. And when I'm arguing with that person that they did it to, that's not going to be one of my main points that I bring up when I'm arguing with them. But it was for Janet. She said, we just stood up for you. You don't need to stand up for me because I know at the end of the day, a man touching my thigh, telling me go get daddy a drink and then slapping my girlfriend on the ass is wrong. I know that. So I don't fucking need you and your husband to stand up for me like I'm possibly in the wrong here, right? And it kills me because I see a lot of people saying like Jasmine shouldn't have accepted the apology whatsoever. We have all of these conversations about harassment and what types of feelings they bring up. And even Danny and Nia said, like, you can be upset about that as long as you want because it did happen to you. And I agree with Jasmine. If we sat down with something about something and the first thing you say is, I can't believe that you brought this up. Yes, I'm going to be thrown off by it. She explained herself perfectly when they all sat down and said, like, if I were a man, if me and Melissa were a heterosexual relationship, you would have called the man and the relationship would have gained a lot more respect. He did not do all of that. He thought that he grabbed some, I think it was Michelle's butt, and he called Jesse first. And Jesse was like, no, it wasn't Michelle. Well, if you grab